Piano and the online violin tutor. Today is lesson 8 and we're going to be going through the third and the fourth finger. I've made up some exercises for you which you might be able to see in the background. I will put those into a PDF format for you and put a link to it in the description bar underneath so you can print those out and follow me through as I'm playing them on the video for you. But today is third finger and fourth finger. So in the other lessons we went through the second finger and the first finger, and today I've just put third finger and the fourth finger together just to make it easier for you. Now on my violin I still have these little dots that I had from the other videos. So just to quickly recap there, the first finger went on the orange dot. The second finger went up to, not on, just behind the next dot that I've put here. The third finger now goes on the dot that you've put here, so the blue dot for me, and the fourth finger goes after the blue dot. So I would say the fourth finger needs to almost go a kind of finger gap apart from the third finger. So if you've got the third finger on the dot here, the fourth finger will not go next to it. The fourth finger, imagine another finger's gap. So the fourth finger is just spaced apart enough for you to sort of put a finger, kind of wedge a finger in the two. And that should be where your fourth finger goes. So I'm going to bring the exercises that I've made out for you today in front of the camera and play them through, and then I will play them again so that you can actually see me playing in front of the camera. These are just 6 little exercises that I've just literally made out for you minutes before doing this video. I've got a link to a really good book that I like to use as well with all my beginner students as well. That will be in the description bar underneath, but for any of you that don't want to buy the book, or you know, for whatever reason, you can print these off for free and have a go at them. So I've added some third fingers where you need to put the occasional third finger that you might not have seen before. I've also added in some fourth fingers as well. You should try and do those fourth fingers. Don't ever be afraid of doing them, because the fourth finger is quite a weak finger, so it's something that needs to be strengthened up. So don't be afraid of doing them. So when it says 4, you must really do 4 to get used to doing the 4. So this is exercise 1. This is exercise 2. And exercise 3. And exercise 4. Exercise 5. And sorry, I've just missed off a little stem there, but I will put that in before I put it into a PDF for you. Exercise 6. So I'm going to play the exercises through again so that you can see my fingers a little bit clearer and you can watch me play. So this is exercise 1. Exercise 2. And exercise 3. exercise 4. Exercise 5. And exercise 6. So those are the exercises played through for you so you can see. If you're wondering what's the point of having a finger 4, because you know that it gives you the open string above it. So if I put a 4th finger on the A string, for example, it's going to give me an E, which is the same sound as the open string above it. Well, there's a couple of reasons really. Sometimes when you play the open strings, the open strings have a kind of maybe a harsher sound to them and a more resonant sound because you haven't got your fingers on the fingerboard, for example. So they always ring and sound a little bit more. Now sometimes when you're playing a piece of music, you don't want an obvious open string resounding halfway through the piece of music, so you might want to put down the 4th finger so you kind of dampen it the same as the other notes to keep the continuity of the sound, for example. Or another example perhaps of using a 4th finger is because it avoids crossing a string. Sometimes you don't want to keep crossing strings all the time. If you looked at example 4 on my sheet, you'll see that I've put a 4. The first note I've put a finger 4 above it, and the second note I've put a finger 3. If you took the 4 away and did it as an open, you'd be playing this. That's quite difficult to do when you're trying to cross strings like that. So if we put a 4 there, it totally avoids having to cross the strings. You don't get an open string mixed with a note that has a finger on the fingerboard, for example, so that doesn't resonate, and you just keep the sound continuity. So it's much easier to play, even though the 4th finger might not be a strong finger, particularly for some people, especially if you're not used to it and you're in the early stages of learning, but it will get stronger, and just work hard at it. When you are using the 4th finger, make sure the 4th finger is down in the correct position it needs to. In other words, make sure it's in tune, your intonation is correct, it's in tune. And just push a little bit harder down on the fingerboard to make sure that you really are getting a nice secure and firm sound with it. Otherwise it will sound a little bit kind of weedy or a little bit sort of thin sounding, if you like. So that is lesson 8. Download the PDF and print out that so you can be practicing at that. There's more examples in the book that I recommend that I've put in the description bar underneath. But that's it really for lesson 8. Lesson 9 I'm going to be going through sharps and flats, and I'll probably be talking more about where the notes are on the violin, because we haven't covered things like D sharps and B flats and E flats, so I'll be covering all of that in the next lesson. Plus, if you're wondering about the rhythm, how you actually play the notes and how fast and slow and that kind of thing, then I'm going to be doing a separate video on that, so check out the separate video that I've got on rhythm as well. So don't forget to join me in lesson 9, and I'll see you all next time.